We're loading up for a little day trip.
That's right. Yep, we're gonna go halfway across the state and back.
Halfway, huh? Woo! Playing it big today, playing it big.
Yeah, well, you know, it'll be a nice drive. I think it'll be about 200 miles.
Sounds like fun. So Don navigated to the Albemarle Music Museum, which has an interesting model train layout upstairs. And you can see that our round trip back is 27%. We do not have a bailout option here. Woo! It'll be fine. Don says we're on his favorite curvy autopilot test road, Highway 42, headed west, which is quite convenient this morning because that way we don't have a lot of sun coming in the front of the car. It's pleasant to be headed in this direction early-ish in the day. We're noticing the tobacco's getting pretty high in the fields now. The corn's looking good.
Yeah, we're going towards Sanford.
Right.
We'll be there probably in like 25 minutes. And then on to Albemarle.
I told Don it's pronounced Albemarle.
Yeah.
We'll have to get one of the local people to pronounce it because in North Carolina you can never be too sure how to pronounce the name. Like there's Lancaster, Pennsylvania, but it's Lancaster, South Carolina.
Yeah.
They'll know you right away if you go to Lancaster and you start calling it Lancaster.
So I found out today that if you combine the particles of your tires, as your tires wear down, it gives off particle matter, particulates. If you combine that with the runoff from the synthetic fiber manufacturing in Asia,
Textiles,
that's right. If you combine all that, those two items, that gets into the ocean, and those two items make up 50% of all the plastic in the ocean. In other words, they equal all the other Coke bottles, beer bottles.
that mound that they keep showing us out in the specific that looks so atrocious.
That's right. The lady I listened to today is on the Fully Charged podcast, was saying that the particulate, when you drive your car, the tires wear off, that material that was on your tires goes into the air. They're trying to actually study to find out where it goes, but one of the places it does end up is in the ocean because the rain, it settles, all these reasons, it gets in the ocean, and then apparently, you know, it settles. I don't know how they measure it, but she said that there's early research being done on tires is turning up some alarming things, and they basically consider tire wear one of those silent polluters that nobody is thinking about. So I think we'll be hearing it. In fact, she said for electric cars, when you should only refer to an electric car as a zero tailpipe emission vehicle, because they actually emit more particulate matter into the atmosphere than gasoline cars because they wear out the tires quicker. So, you know, that was, of course, she was really being, you know, very academic. But yeah, so it's one of those things. Yeah, this Fully Charged podcast, one of the speakers on it stressed that in Europe, they do not, tire wear is not as important. In the US, you know, all vehicles, we want 40,000, 50, 60, 70, even 80,000 miles out of a set of tires. That, I'm sure Europeans like tires that last longer, but that's not a priority that they actually do. They prefer the performance aspects. of the tire, the stopping distance, the cornering, that type of stuff. And they're in Europe, according to this gentleman, if I understood him saying it right, they don't even have mileage wear warranties in Europe. So if you buy a set of tires and it wears out in 5,000 miles, you take it to them and say, sorry, you just wore your tires out, you know? And so he's wanting to help reduce this particulate matter from tires. He's wanting Europeans to become more conscious of, like the Americans, he actually gave us Americans credit here for being very conscious about how long tires last. He wants Europeans to start paying attention and demanding tires that last a long time.
Yeah, well, we've known for a long time that what do you do with tires when you're done with them? You know, they need to be recycled. They shouldn't be dumped on the side of the road. I mean, the actual physical tire that you're left with when its useful life as a tire on a car is over with. But now this is a whole new what do we do about tires conversation.
Yeah, I'm trying to find my sweetie at Chick-fil-A.
It's to the left and then on the right in the Walmart shopping center. I know exactly where the Chick-fil-A is.
Couldn't see it.
We're in Sanford. He's using the fob, something you don't ever see me do. I just stay in the car last and handle the doors for people and then get out. Just because I don't want to have to dig the fob out of my purse. That would take 5 minutes. We're in Carthage now, and right in front of us is the old courthouse. You know, in the South, a lot of the courthouses had these roundabouts go around them, and this one is still operational. They haven't rerouted the road or completely away from it. This one is pretty too.
Yeah, I mean, when it was here, the horse and buggies, you know, the folks used to just horse and buggy up next to it. I've seen pictures of people doing business at the courthouse, I think in Pittsburgh.
Oh, wow, Donnie. Look at the mural. You know, he's put on the turn, so he's like, God, I gotta turn around. Getting wants a picture of Ruby with the mural. So this is the Tyson and Jones Buggy Company. And I thought, obviously I'm a mural fan. I thought it would be really great to see the new Ruby with the old buggy. And it's pretty. It's definitely a pretty one. Tells the history of the town. So we found out that if you want to make a difference, you come down when it's not 95 degrees outside, and you park in front of the mural in Carthage, North Carolina, and you open up the Falcon Wing doors, and people that have never seen a Tesla before will come over and be amazed. So we had 2 different vehicles, because Don opened the wings for me to take that mural shot, come over, never seen a Tesla before, never seen a car with wings like that before.
Oh, wow.
Now it's a pretty church. Had trouble grasping no gas. Oh, you mean a hybrid? And I said, no, sir. I said a battery electric vehicle is no gasoline in this car. If it hadn't been so hot, I would have had Don pop the frunk and the guy get out of the car, because I just can't seem to prove to people that there's no engine unless I open the frunk. But that was great. It was a guy in a pickup truck that was polite and interested, and 2 ladies in I think a smallish Chevy that came over that were interested, and I enjoyed that. A little impromptu electric vehicle education introduction.
You did good, sweetie.
Thank you. I love really talking to people, really.
Yeah.
You just put me up in front of some people that want to know about the car, and that sort of makes my day.
Yeah, she's my diva, my Tesla diva girl. I just sit there and look pretty.
He controlled the doors for me. The ladies needed to see the doors in operation a few times.
Right.
Walmart still has a nice linoleum white squares down, and not that cement warehouse look like Fuquay has now. Our store used to look like this too. I do not like the cement floor. I made Don let us out at the Bisco Walmart here in the middle of Nowhereville, North Carolina, so we could look at the Hot Wheels. Trying to find Walmarts that no other Tesla owner's likely to have been to. I'm sure this qualifies. I promised Don we wouldn't go through the huge super bin, but I did go over the top of it, and I don't see new stuff. But you need a Starman? I want you to know that looking through all those Hot Wheels, which we could not leave without doing, is hard work. And Johnny is a great helper, and I really thank you, buddy. I think we found 5 Starman. I still have not found a Model 3 myself. I found this one too. Can you believe that this one is still in stores? I do love chauffeur service. Thank you, Donnie. We got 4 Starman.
Holy gold mine.
I know. Still no Model 3 though. Can you believe still no Model 3? And also found a Star Trek 50th anniversary Uhura. I've never even seen one of those before. Yeah, and it was regular price, 94 cents too. So let me tell you, that was a deal.
Hater.
Thank you. So that was fun. Johnny and I hauled through probably 300, I'm guessing about 100 fit per compartment, and there's 3 compartments. Hot Wheels as fast as we could. We moved one bin into the buggy, and then we moved the other bins into that bin, and then again, and then finally we put the buggy back. And we've done it enough. We have got it down, let me tell you. But a store associate came over, a nice guy, and he said, "Are you looking for a particular car?" And we said yes. And Johnny goes, "This is what we're looking for, sir." And he shows him the Starman, and he goes, "Huh." And I said, "Did you know that car went into outer space?" And he said, "No, didn't." So I said, "Yeah, that car belonged to Elon Musk, and SpaceX and the, you know, Falcon Heavy, I guess, rocket, they put that in outer space." And he said, "Oh, that's that guy that wants us to live on other planets." And I said, "Yeah." And he said, "And he also doesn't get enough sleep." I said, "Is that what you've heard about him in the news?" He said, "Yeah, he needs more sleep." He must be recollecting the couch from a year ago or something. And I'm sure as an executive, he doesn't get enough sleep. But anyways, really cute. I said, "Don't worry, sir, we'll leave the display just like we found it, or better." And he said, "I was sure you would." And he moseyed on away. But it's kind of cool to see when you get out of Raleigh and Wake County what people know about Tesla and/or what they know about Elon Musk. It's cute. It's cute. So we're passing through the Uhari National Forest. It looks the same over here as it does in the rest of the state, pretty much. A lot of trees. We are going to pass just south of Morrow Mountain State Park, and I have to say I've been there a few times, and that is a pretty place with boating and swimming and the typical water activities that you would expect on the lake over there. I see the water tower for Albemarle there, Donnie. We're coming into town.
Yeah.
That's what the map shows too. We're getting into town. I don't have a lot of experience with this town, but I have been through it before, going back and forth between Willow Spring and Monroe to see my dad. A few times we came this way. Alright, so this is the place with the cool trains upstairs. Don watched every Scott Mason, Carolina Traveler video there was yesterday, looking for us some places to come, and this was what we decided to do today. So we walked in the door, and Johnny and I, like a magnet over here to the kittens they're trying to give away. They're so cute. Hey, what's your name? Come on, hi. My goodness. We're just going to be aloof, huh?
Oh yeah, he can read.
He came over and said hello and then came and laid back down. So the lady that's here today running the store said that somebody traded planes for trains, and then he hung them up. My dad would have liked this, Donnie.
You want to see this beauty down there?
Yeah, wow. See him?
That baby's huge. That's like an 8-foot
yeah,
wingspan.
My dad built some of these planes, but
I mean, the thing is really big. It was not a small. And it's
oh, it's huge. It's like what? Is it 4 feet long?
Oh no, it's probably 5 feet. That's
okay.
It's got about an 8-foot wingspan.
Yeah, it's amazing. These are all amazing. So these are like kitty cart airplanes.
Yeah, but I imagine they're kind of the old ones.
Oh yeah, totally restored probably, or maybe kept that good from the beginning. It's impressive. Oh.
This way to get up there to the trains? I can't tell. I'm not that much of an expert. Steel, yeah.
So we got cars and planes and fire engines and trains. Oh my. The trains, like we said, they're up here. Wow. This is definitely some trains.
Yeah.
Oh, look at the old computer controls, Donnie.
Oh, there. Wait, what is that big one at? I thought I saw the big one. Oh, there's that big one. There's the big one. Like the biggest.
Oh, the biggest train up here is that one? Uh-huh. Wow. There's so many trains. I mean, I've seen some large train displays before, but this is really a large display. Right, Donnie? I mean, this is huge.
Especially since this was a single person. The owner of this music shop, he's now passed away. He, over his life, collected all these trains and planes and that.
An early model of the framed S-gauge American Flyer set. Look at the old Amtrak print. The stairwell that we came up had a lot of old prints too. I love the drive-in. That's cool. That is really cool.
Got boats.
I was gonna say, yeah, look at the boats too, sailboats. So we can add that to our list. This gentleman obviously loved transportation. Too bad he's not still living, and here we take him out and show him Ruby. A person that appreciated transportation, I'm sure, would appreciate Ruby too. Little village.
Yeah, there's your Christmas village stuff.
Yep. I tried to figure out how to get on a couple more lights, didn't have any luck. So we're just making do the best we can with the light we got. Yep, here's a few more Christmas village pieces.
Wow, this is a neat little park.
Oh yeah. I mean, you got to understand, guys, while we're in here, there's so many things to look at. It's hard to know. We're going to have to walk around. Here's some military attack helicopters. Bob Yingling, 9th Air Force 391st Street Squadron, World War II. This dogfight simulation is dedicated to Bob Yingling and all of the many veteran aviators of Stanley County who gave their best and some their all in defending our great nation. Because yeah, there's a lot more planes up here too. Wow. Yeah, this is really cool. I think he's asleep behind the wheel, Donnie.
Yeah, I do think
There's
so.
picture frames up here, more prints. There's hundreds of older transportation. Even have some wooden trains. So unfortunately, there's no one here to run the trains today. But you know what? It's nice and quiet up here, and we can just study everything because it's not in motion. Check out the old cash register. And this is where they obviously works on the trains. I bet he's got every part known to man that you could possibly ever need.
Or at least enough of them.
Yeah. So what do we think, Donnie?
Wow.
Yeah.
Impressive. I mean, obviously it would be really cool to see it run, but this guy had very eclectic taste. He collected all gauges, all types, steam, freight. You know, he pretty much loved them all. It looks like he truly loved them all. He was very passionate for his hobby. And the planes, they're just gorgeous.
They're every bit as fascinating as the trains. Yeah.
I mean, I don't know anything about radio-controlled planes other than just, you know, the cursory knowledge. That my father enjoyed building them and unfortunately crashed them pretty soon after he flew them the first time. That's what I know about model airplanes. Yeah, but radio-controlled, yep. Yeah, he's got some really nice ones. I mean, they're beautiful, just models to look at. I mean, you know, they haven't flown, but every one of them looks ready to fly. They have an engine in them. I mean, they look like they could just put some fuel in them and fire them up. So some of these pieces, you know, these train parts, you know, it's made in the USA.
Right.
Well, you know it's old when it doesn't have a barcode.
Wow.
Versus this is made in China, and of course it has a barcode on it.
Wow, there's stuff in here pre-barcode.
Right. It's very the mixture. They sell all these is for sale. I mean, they want to sell this stuff.
Right.
But it's you know.
Wow.
Some of it is you can't probably find.
No train area would be complete without some Thomas the Tank Engine wood track. It's mandatory. For our friend that's now in Colorado that loves trains, it says this is the Denver and Rio Grande Western. Hi guys, did you get sprung? Did you get sprung? Hello. So how old are they? 6 weeks?
She said 7, 8. She wasn't sure.
Okay. Yeah, well they're weaned, so they're more than 4.
Yeah.
They're not, by 12 they're getting to be bigger. Yeah. So yeah.
But they're very
tracks and the train station, the depot, some sort of grain silos behind us, and the depot building over here looks a lot like the Fuquay one. As a matter of fact, I'm going to say it's identical to where Aviator is. So I got my picture. Don's going to move the car this way. Yeah, I mean, these were just like the kind of doors that Aviator had before they put in the windows and stuff, up on the little pillars instead of a solid foundation. I bet this little, what I call a bay window over here, I bet that's where the telegraph office was here. Because that's where the telegraph office was in the Varina station. That is really, really cool and amazing. Well, I don't know what they plan to do inside with it, but it does have a sink there behind that, what looks to be a bar counter. Nice to see they've restored it so that it's going to be with this platform up here is now actually rubberized wood. So that'll last forever. Table and chairs. I guess you could probably get married here or have some 16th, sweet 16 party or something like that. Historic Market Station, home of the Stanley County Farmers Market. Very cool.
Just like I told Johnny.
Here's another little building over here. I don't know what that one was for, but Market Station. It's probably bathrooms just when people are here for the farmers market. It looks like a bathroom to me. There's the back side of it too.
Yep, restaurants.
So glad to see that they have preserved this. They have in memory of up here on the inside all these plaques. So I guess people of the town donated money to keep it in good condition. And I imagine on the weekend this is actually where the farmers market is here underneath the underneath the station.
It is. This is, I was telling Johnny, this is a farm. I could tell.
So what is next door over here? This
the grain silo.
yeah, that's what I said in the video, but I didn't see what company it was.
I didn't either.
Pulled off at the little wildlife observation outlook area here, and that big river down there is the PD River. So we are at the Stony Mountain access area. We're on Lake Tillery Road. There's a couple of really nice houses on the other side over here, and it's a pretty day. I don't see too many people out in the water right now though. The bridge that we cross over to continue on home, you can just see it there between the near trees. And Morrow Mountain's over that way, a little north of here too. Alright, somebody out nice and peaceful on the water, and there's another boat coming from the left, and I saw some skiers on the right. So there are people out there enjoying the water today. Here comes a jet ski, and now you can see that very large house over there on the other side of the river.
There's the old bridge over there. Look at that skinny little thing. Jesus.
No, not really. There's so many different boats.
No, there's nobody behind me yet.
Well, we have plenty of range to get back to the house, obviously. 14% is about how many miles, Donnie?
That would be...
Well, 20% is like 58.
30, probably about 40
miles to spare.
40, 44.
Yeah. So PlugShare shows back in Bisco, that was where the Walmart was, that the town park does have a J1772. We should be going right past there, so we'll swing in and check it out. So after resetting my charge point password, because apparently I didn't write it down and had no clue what it was, because I had set it up one time before, and going into the app and going to the website and doing a little bit of reading, we've got the navigation in so we can go over there, and you all can laugh at how funny it is for Tesla people to have to try to figure out how to plug into a non-Tesla supercharger.
Now, not that we need to charge.
Right, we do not need to charge.
Strictly for public consumption.
Right, we will check in, share a picture, make a statement about the charge we got to try to help other people.
Right.
Because there's only 4 other check-ins at this charger. We want the town of Troy to know that we appreciate them installing the charger at the park. So to help other EV drivers of any kind of EV, and to let the town know we appreciate, the town of Bisco in this case, know that we appreciate them putting it in, we're going to stop and charge for a few minutes. Plus, it's good practice for us in case we ever were in the situation where it was necessary, so we'd have our act together about it.
Right. Well, I don't know if I could actually manage the apps and all that stuff. That's a lot to do. I'm not I don't like, I have a phone.
He hates his phone.
But I don't like using phones.
Right. Well, I'm the app girl, and you can be the charger plug guy. And the two of us will be a team, and it'll work great.
Amen.
Yeah, you really don't want to have to make Don figure out something on his phone. You really don't want to go there. That's what he has me for. Yeah, we've got 114 miles of rated range, and Ruby's still saying we would get home with 14%. Now, I think earlier in the trip we told you 24%, but then we ran the air conditioner over there at the train place, and we stopped into the depot and took pictures, and we got off at the wildlife observation area and went down to the lake, and we started to go to a different lake, but that was, we couldn't quite tell how far that was, so we turned around. You know, it's a typical Miller outing where we have a planned destination, and then there are 5 to 10 other stops along the way. Oh, and let's not forget the Walmart with Dawn out in the parking lot with the AC on. why Johnny and I hunted Hot Wheels cars.
It's in the shady part.
Yeah, Don was more keen on trying it out if it was in the shade. Well, you can't blame him when it's, you know, in the upper 90s out there. So the display is dead.
Yeah, I've taken my sunglasses off and I can't
anything. We don't know anything about this, but we've sort of touched on it. You can't get it out, obviously. I'm supposed to just be able to hold my phone up there and unlock it, and it's not. It was used on 627 by a Ford Fusion Energy. So that's not too many days ago, right? It's only today's July. It's only 4 days ago. So we're going to call the number.
And we're going to do it, see what happens.
Yeah, see what happens.
So I went across the parking lot to the swimming pool. They have a rec center here. With a nice little community swimming pools for the city. And this lady in the white car happens to be the manager of
the swimming pool. So she knows something.
Right. So what happened was I went in and talked to one of the teenagers in there. He said, oh, well, that lady. And so he took me out to the lady and I talked to her. And she called the city, talked to her, the lady she knew, and she said, that lady didn't have any idea, but she knew who would, and sure enough, she transferred us to this guy.
Wow, and on a Saturday too. What a nice town.
That's right. And
it's a small town America.
I stressed over and over again, we're not
stranded.
We're just trying to get if it needs to be put back in operation in case the next person really needs it. Okay. So I basically hypothesized.
Right, I see that box over there. Yeah.
The reason this charger's right here, I don't know.
It's close to electricity.
They just ran a conduit underground. From here to there. So
yeah,
that was easy
yeah, I saw you walk over there first thing, Mr. Electricity.
All those are locked, so I can't get into it. But my guess is it is totally dark. I suspect it's just simply a trip breaker. And so I told the guy, look, it's not an emergency. You don't have to come out right now. He said, well, he'll send a guy by sometime. He'll put it on the list.
Right, maybe Monday morning or something when the normal guy. Yep. Well, the charge point person was really nice. You know, I called the 800 number, but unfortunately, well, number one, this charge point charger has no unique identification number on it. And also, by the way, in their app, there's no unique identification number except to say the street address that we're at. And 221 Mill Street in Bisco, it took her like forever to figure out. I don't know. They need an identification number for reporting problems, a unique post number.
I've seen a number on them before.
Yeah, I don't know how it doesn't have a number on it. So she finally found it, and she wasn't sure, but she says it might be a fault. She thinks she sees something about a fault, and she said, well, we'll open up a ticket and send somebody out to fix it. And I said, well, how long was that normally be? Like a week, 5 months? I mean, and she said, well, all I can do is open up a ticket and we don't know. Well, you know, if you got like the only charging network out in the middle of nowhere, well, maybe there are some not charge point ones. I didn't evaluate PlugShare.
Sure. ChargePort
is big, yeah.
Well, but they work with businesses and municipalities, people who want to put in EV chargers.
Right.
They handle the logistics, but the business, or in this case, the town is the one that's footing the bill, provided the electrical service and all that. So I'm sure eventually they're going to find the contact person for the town that signed off on this or asked for this. They worked with somebody in the town way back when.
Sure.
I have no idea. But that's how ChargePoint works. So honestly, I'm sure it's just a trip breaker.
Right. Well, thank God, number one, we don't need the charge.
That's right.
Really wanted to tell a good story. Not telling a bad story, but you could see the frustration if you were coming in here and you really needed a charge. And oh, by the way, the closest charger, she said, to here is in Raleigh. And she gave me the street name in Raleigh. And I'm like, well, I don't know exactly how many miles that is, but I'm thinking that's like somewhere between 50 and 70 miles from here. We're not anywhere near. And of course, she's not in North Carolina, so she doesn't know. But it's a big state, and we're not near Raleigh right now. I know where Raleigh is, but we're not there. So she was really nice and really helpful and wanted to help and would have continued to try to help me find some place to charge that was outside their network even. She was so helpful. But I told her, you know, I didn't need her to do that. So we'll at least go in and say in PlugShare, it's not currently working.
Right.
So that's what you're supposed to do, right?
Been reported.
Ben not working and Ben
Been
reported,
reported.
because that's what you should do if you stop and, you know, you got to try to help your fellow man out. So that's what we'll do.
So we reported it to the best we can. You know, we made the effort to contact the town and charge point. So we're playing. This is Team EV.
That's right, Team EV here.
That's right. Tesla probably does. Any Tesla person probably doesn't need this, but there are other EVs. We want to. Team EV, other EVs may really need this, so it'll be ready for them, we hope.
And we'll try to practice using a charge point charger again some other day. I do love our adventures.
Yeah.
Thankfully this one has a good story, as in we'll get home with plenty of charge. But you know, one of our missions in stopping there was to make sure the town knew people were using the charger.
Right.
They know we're using the charger. Yes, stats are important to let them know. I tried to explain to the people down at Hamlet that it's more about having it than it is about how much use it has. But it gives people the security to travel. Whether they use it or not is another thing. But I'm sure that end of the day, having statistics on paper is really important.
So when I went over to the basketball courts to look at that rack of what were obviously electrical boxes, they were all locked. But there were 2 normal 120 outlets with weather covers that were accessible. You could just lift it up the cover. I lifted up the cover, and you know, if I had had something to plug in, I could have plugged in. I don't know if they were hot, so I'm gonna throw in my charger kit a plug tester, so you know, you plug in there and it'll light up and let you know if it's actually hot or not.
We're in Carthage now. This is another mural by Scott Nurkin from the Mural Shop. It's a memorial to World War II and flying for France, James R. McConnell, 1887 to 1917. It's very detailed and wow. And a short walk from this mural is this mural. So people working the that's people working the tobacco. Out in the field and then in the warehouse. They're going to try Tramway Diner. It has 750 reviews, 4.4 stars, and the menu looks really good. And there's enough people here to make us feel like it must be popular.
I didn't want to eat at a chain food restaurant.
Nope, I got barbecue, just about everything. And then look at the dessert menu.
Oh yeah.
Huh. Oh, they got carrot cake. That's Donnie's favorite. It's quite the menu. There is a lot of choice here, and she says the onion rings are good, so we're definitely trying some onion rings. Made here. I have the Big Dave. And Don and Johnny got the Tramway Special. It's a burger with ham, chili, bacon, slaw, tomato, and onion. It looks good, and onion straws for us. This is the pig pickin' cake, and it's got mandarin oranges and what else? Pineapple, whipped cream. Oh, here, and it's moist. You can just tell looking at it how moist it is. Poor stray kitties everywhere you go. I'm sure they get lots of food here at the restaurant, though, and probably live in those woods. Hi, you guys are pretty. Hi, sweetheart. I hope you're spayed or neutered, but I don't see a clipped ear. I'd be happier if your ears were clipped. Oh, goodness. Well, I was going to say that we went into the restaurant. We said we were going to arrive at home at 12%. We left the AC on at 80, and we were in there probably 40 minutes. I'm just estimating. And it was 11%, so we only used 1% to keep the car, you know, comfortable. And also, I would say possibly save energy, because if the car got up, you know, to 104 degrees and we got back in, we'd have to work to cool it back down. But then Don changed the route. He got back on Highway 42 instead of this other road, and now it says we're arriving home at 15%. So I don't think my point is it really doesn't cost a lot to keep the cabin at 80 degrees when you go in places. That was my point. So the first episode of the Revolution podcast is up. We are episode 2, at least if they come out in order. This is episode 1. I will put the link to the podcast in tonight's video description. You should definitely check it out. We're enjoying listening to it. Ruby's not on TuneIn yet, but they're working on it. We're listening to it on Spotify, Bluetooth to the car, which works just fine. We received our Duke Energy Progress Home Energy Report for May. And I got really excited for a minute because I saw this areas you can focus on, EV, 20% they believe of our bill came from that. And yeah, I told Don, I said, I'll focus on it, all right. I'll try to drive an extra 500 miles in July because we're on summer break and see if I can't bump up our usage a little bit. I just don't understand these people. They still say we're doing terrible in comparison to our neighbors, which, you know, with the chest freezer and the other refrigerator in the garage, you know, we get it that we may, you know, Johnny's got the window unit in the other room, although he hasn't been using it that much, in case, you know, all that computer equipment in there gets hot. But goodness gracious, when did the electric company care how much electricity we bought? No, really, it's still frustrating that the bill doesn't really seem to take into consideration the fact that we own an EV and our bill should be higher than all of our other neighbors who don't own an EV.